What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy and I'm going to be doing my review for the new movie, Twisters. So, in this movie, as storm season intensifies, the paths of former storm chaser Kate Carter and reckless social media superstar Tyler Owens collide when terrifying phenomena never seen before are unleashed. The pair and the competing teams find themselves squarely in the paths of multiple storm systems, converging over central Oklahoma in the fight of their lives. So, I gotta say, this was a really fun time. I was very surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie and everything, and like, some of the things that they did with this movie is what really surprised me on why I was so surprised with this movie and everything. I think the story is pretty good, that way different than the original and everything, while keeping the heart of what made the original so good, the fun storm chases and stuff. They keep that, but it's a different story with a whole new set of characters who are completely different than our original characters, and I like that about it. The only similarities is the main leads kind of have their roles shifted around, but they're kind of similar to characters from the first one, but they're not exactly like them either, which I thought was pretty cool and everything. I think the cast in here are pretty good. Daisy Edgar Jones is amazing in here as Kate. I think she's really great. She carries the movie very good too, and Glenn Powell is really great too. He does a really great job, and he has a really likable screen presence. Like I said when I reviewed Anyone But You, this dude is just a really charming dude, and he has what it takes. I think he's gonna become a big movie star and everything. I could just feel it and everything. He just oozes movie star charisma and everything, and he's great in here. And I think the visuals look great too. I don't have any complaints with it. Like, usually nowadays movies, the CGI just looks so horrible, but this movie, the CGI looks amazing. It doesn't look bad at all whatsoever and everything. I thought that was great too, and I didn't expect that about this movie. And I also love that this has like the classic Hollywood ending too, like the way the movie ended and stuff. It has a classic Hollywood feel to it, and this feels like a fun throwback to fun disaster movies of the 90s and stuff too, but there's like an old school feel to romance feel to it and everything at the end of it, which is pretty cool and everything. So they do a good job on that and everything. I will say that the science stuff in this movie, just, I didn't find it as interesting. That they kind of try to delve into the science a little bit more and everything, and it's just not as fun and everything, but it doesn't ruin the movie either. Just like with the first one, the science stuff was kind of one of my weaker things on that one too. I just wasn't as entertained by the science of it, and it doesn't really make a lot of this stuff doesn't make a lot of logical sense in either one of these movies. But nobody goes to these movies for logical fun. We go for chasing tornadoes and crazy characters who just are fun and likable, and this movie delivered on the same things that the first one delivered on in a lot of different ways, and the characters are a lot better written in this one in a lot of ways too. There's a lot more depth to them and stuff, and like, you think you have these archetypes figured out about the characters, like Glenn Powell's character. You think he's going to be one way and everything, kind of the way the trailers look and everything, and they go in a totally different way than you'd expect and everything, and the different arcs and stuff. They do a good job with it. They take you in different directions than you would expect and everything. The marketing and everything did a good job at hiding some of the character stuff and everything. They just focused on a lot of this tornado stuff, which is kind of a negative too, because the marketing shows so much of the chase sequences that it kind of ruined the fun of them and stuff. But I will say that all in all, this movie is pretty good, and I was very surprised with it. The only other big negative I would have to say is the score just was not as intense as it could have been. Like the score for the first movie was just a lot better and everything. I love the score for the first Twister movie and everything, and it just didn't have that suspenseful sound to it like the first movie did and everything. I do kind of wish it would have had that, but aside from that, I don't really have that many complaints, really. This is a fun movie. It's about what I expected it to be, not better than the first or anything, but it was a fun time with a bunch of storm chasers going after these storms, and had a fun turn your brain off feel to it, which is what I love in a summer blockbuster and everything. And this is the fun, dumb summer blockbuster of the year and everything. And I think it's a solid time, good time. They took 28 years to make this movie, and I think it lived up to it. I think they gave us a worthy sequel to Twister, and I gotta say I'm impressed. This is one of the ones that actually impressed me this year. Like they made not just a fun, dumb popcorn movie, but they made a movie with good characters that you actually care about. Which, I mean, I cared about the characters in the first one too, even though they weren't very in-depth. And they're not very in-depth in this one, but there is a lot more character work with the main lead characters in this movie than there was the first one. And I like that about it and everything. I think it's a good time. And there was also a lot of scenes in this movie that were filmed throughout Oklahoma, which is where I live. So I recognize a lot of the places. I've actually been to most of the places that this movie was filmed in and everything, so that was really cool too, getting to see like the giant windmills and stuff that are in the movie. I've seen those in real life many times before, so that was really cool and everything. So there's a lot of really cool scenes throughout the movie that were places that I recognized and stuff, and a lot of it was also shot in a studio here in Oklahoma too, which was cool. So I kind of have a little bias towards it because of it being from here too, I guess, maybe, but this movie did really surprise me, though. I went in not expecting it to be as good as the first, and well, I don't think I like it quite as much as the first, because that first one, to me, is a classic that I've loved ever since I was a kid. I didn't expect this to be better than the first, but almost as good really surprises me and everything, because it is almost as good. They did a good job with it, and if they did decide to continue the Twister franchise and everything and do another 2 or 3 movies with these characters, I'd be down for it, although I don't know what else they can really do. You can't really do a whole bunch of these movies without it getting old. It'd almost be worth waiting another 20 years or so for another one. Wait till technology's changed more again. And also, I thought it was cool getting to see the meteorologists from the local news channels that I watch sometimes when the weather is bad here on the big screen too and everything. One of my favorite meteorologists, Emily Sutton, is in the movie too. I thought that was pretty cool. But all in all, I give Twisters an 8 out of 10. I think it's a really fun blockbuster movie. It's not quite on the same level as the first movie, but it's still a really good time. And I still think it had a lot of heart and good moments and some pretty emotional moments. You love the characters right away and everything. Not quite on the same level as the first one, but they are still really likable characters. There are a few of them that are kind of just side characters that aren't really super important, like and everything. Some of the crew members that go along for the rides, that they're just kind of there for the ride. They're just fun characters there for the ride, like in the first movie. So I thought that they got the essence of the original movie down really well while adding to it. I just don't feel like the suspense was quite on par with the first one and everything. And that being said, I would highly recommend Twisters. I think it's definitely worth seeing. I would definitely see it in the theaters. It is worth seeing on the big screen and everything. So I highly recommend that. And I hope you enjoyed this video and everything. So thank you guys for watching, and have a good day, everybody.
Yeah.